So in today's video, what I really wanted to talk about with you is how I fell back in love with the creative process after burnout. So I think this applies to you if you're an artist like me, or you're someone who does something that you love, but you're doing it to make money too, or you're doing it as a career like me. I think you're prone to fall out of love with the process of it. And, like for me, for example, as a filmmaker, recently, I'm in grad school. I'm a film student. I'm getting my MFA because I released the pressure to be perfect. I released the pressure of an outcome. And now I'm like, oh, how can this be fun? Or what can I learn about it, And how can I keep improving? And it helps you get out of that mindset of needing it to be perfect, needing it to be good, needing it to be a certain way. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is itsdianachristine. I'm a writer and a filmmaker. On my YouTube channel and on my social medias, I share my creative journey and the lessons I learn along the way. I also talk about self-development and spirituality related topics because I'm super passionate about self-development, and I believe that my self-development journey and my artistic journey are one. So I created this space for you if you're a creative person like me, or you're someone who's interested in becoming their best self. Let's motivate each other on this path. So in today's video, what I really wanted to talk about with you is how I fell back in love with the creative process after burnout. So I think this applies to you if you're an artist like me, or you're someone who does something that you love, but you're doing it to make money too, or you're doing it as a career like me. I think you're prone to fall out of love with the process of it, and you're prone to fall out of remembering why you're doing this, for me, for example, as a filmmaker, recently, I'm in grad school. I'm a film student. I'm getting my MFA because I really believe I need to deepen into my craft and keep learning. And you never stop learning, I'm always going to be a student, of my craft. But I'm in film school because I want to have this focused space, and I want to be in a creative community and have access to certain resources like equipment, mentorship, and collaborators. And I just prefer to do that in this route. But there are many routes that you can do when you want to deepen into your craft or into your practice of whatever you do. But anyway, I'm in film school, and I'm also working on my projects. My short film, by the way, let me just plug my short film really quick. My first narrative short film called If She Didn't Get Turned Into a Vampire. It's coming out on YouTube next month on November 21st. I'm releasing it here because it's still early work. I've only made 2 short films so far, and it's still early work, and I want to share with you as much of my early work as possible because I just want you to be part of that journey with me, and I want to inspire you to pursue what you want to do as well, because I'm doing it, so you can do it too, and we can do it together. And basically, I fell out of love with the creative process when I was in the first month of film school. So I'm in the second month now. I started in late August, the 2-year program that I'm doing. And I started kind of dreading my assignments almost. I started kind of trudging through it. And then I was talking with my therapist. So I am in therapy. Therapy is a really helpful resource for me, and it's a really helpful part of my support system. And it's talk therapy, and it's been really helping me so far. Basically my therapist was like, oh, how can you make this fun? She told me, ask yourself, how can I make this fun? So basically what happened was that I was starting to dread my assignments. I was starting to get overwhelmed and burnt out, and I started dreading my classes almost. And I was almost I don't know, I don't really want to do it. But then when I started talking more, she helped me get to the root of what was going on. And she helped me see that I was being almost a perfectionist. I was being afraid that I would not be validated, right? I was looking for validation from classmates, or whether it's classmates or professors, for validation that what I do is good. And that's not the point of it. The point is that you create, and then you get feedback, you see what lands, you see what you can improve. And that's how it is. It's not, she was think about how you're making this fun, and think about why you're doing this. Are you doing it to get validation? Are you doing it to get an outcome, or are you doing it because it's fun and it's what you love and it lights you up? And then she asked me, like, what do you love about filmmaking? And then I told her, like, when I'm on a set, it's so fun because yes, we're there for you forget that you're there for a long time, because film shoots are very long, and I was like, you forget you're there because for a very long time, because you're in a very dynamic atmosphere. I told her, like, I love when I'm on a set and like people are talking and like creativity is flowing, like you're meeting people, making connections, like your world is being expanded, you're learning something new. And I told her that after my film shoot, like for my first for if she didn't get turned into a vampire, like on one of the shoot days that we had, like I remember I was really touched because people who were not in the scene anymore, like my extras and other crew members, were like, I was like, okay, you guys are wrapped, like you guys are good to go, like we filmed all the scenes that you're in, like you're good to go for the day, and then they didn't want to leave set. They were like, can we stay? And then I was very touched because I was like, you guys want to stay? Like, you've been here, for like hours already, like, and you are free to go home. Like, and it was like winter, it was cold, and they were like, no, like we want to stay and like hang out. And so I was like, okay. And as long as you guys are quiet, because we were still filming. So then they like went to like a room on set, and then they were just like hanging out, chatting. And I know that after that, or my shoot for my short film, like, people had made connections and people like bonded and stuff, and like it was just really touched. I was touched to see that as someone who it was just like nice to see. And for me, when I'm on other sets, it's nice to have that as well, where I like connect with others and I find people who I resonate with, and like I learn a lot from that experience, whether it's about filmmaking, like as a craft, or whether it's about other people. So I was telling this to my therapist, and then she saw how I was lighting up, and she was like, yeah, like, she was like, what, like, when you're talking about that, like you're lighting up, and she told me, like, how can you remember that when you're doing these class assignments, and how can you reframe it, because I'm very grateful for like the opportunity to further my education, learn more about my craft, and like have the space to practice and experiment. And she was like, don't be so hard on yourself that like you need to get praise or validation from your assignments, or you need to do it perfect, you need to do it good. Like, just think, how can I make this fun? How much can I learn? She was like, instead of saying how good can I make this, think about how much can I learn in doing this. And I feel like that's helped me and carried me through my other assignments, because then I released the pressure to be perfect. I released the pressure of an outcome, and now I'm like, oh, how can this be fun, or what can I learn about it, and how can I keep improving? And like, it helps you get out of that like mindset of needing it to be perfect, needing it to be good, needing it to be a certain way. And it helps you fall back in love with why you started doing this in the first place, and it helps you regain that magic, because once you lose love for the process, it's easy to just like lose your love for what you're doing, and that's kind of not, it's not a fun place to be in, And I think that's how I'm like approaching other things too, like with like my social media, like I would love for my social media to keep growing, and for me to keep reaching people, and to like, but it's like, and all the opportunities that would bring me. But then it's like, okay, like, how can I just keep improving? How can I see how I can improve? How can I refine this? Like, what can I keep learning? And also like why, like I want to do this because I just wanted to inspire others. Like, I wanted to resonate with others. That's another thing my therapist told me about social media. Like, I was also getting kind of like burnt out from social media, and like feeling anxious, like, comparing myself to others, getting like FOMO, right? Like, just feeling like I'm not in the where I'm supposed to be, but she told me like, you are right where you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And she said like, when you post something, ask yourself, am I posting this for validation or am I posting this to inspire others? And that changed me, like the way that I post too, because it's like, okay, yeah, if this flops or doesn't get like engagement, or you know, I feel like no one resonates or no one cares, right, what I have to say, it's not about that. It's about, did it inspire someone? Is it inspiring, right? Is it sending like a positive vibe into the world, you know, like, and even like when I do post things, like, and I do get positive comments, like I do get like people saying like, yeah, like this inspired me, or like I love this, you know, and so I look at that and I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's the impact is there, you know, and like it's not and even then, if I don't get any comments or anyone saying, wow, like, you know, if I don't get any of that validation or any of that outside praise, I still feel like within me, like, well, I like what I posted. I like it. I think it says my truth, right? Like it's true. It's something that I meant. It's something that I believe in. Like, and I started kind of like looking at that, like looking at like, okay, yeah, this got no comments. That doesn't mean anything about me. That doesn't mean anything about my worth, you know? So things like that, like you just have to reframe the questions that you ask. I think that's like so huge, right? Yeah, that was what I had to say for today. I hope it helped. And I hope it helps you kind of like regain your passion for like what you love, even if like you're burnt out because maybe you've been trying to get an outcome from it, you know, which is valid, which I relate to because I want a creative career. So combining that, you know, is a balance, and it's just something to be aware of. But it is possible, I think, to still like at the same time be in love with the process, and at the same time like strive toward an outcome of some sort. But it's just like a balance, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And like, let me know if this helped you, in case you kind of fell out of touch, right, with why you were doing something. I'm active on my other social medias, on my Instagram and my TikTok. I'll link it down below. I also have a monthly newsletter. And I am coming out with my short film, my first narrative short film, If She Didn't Get Turned Into a Vampire. It's gonna come out on YouTube. I'm releasing it on YouTube November 21st, next month. So look out for that. I also have my ebook. My ebook is in my Etsy shop, link down below. It's called How to Survive a Crush When You Feel Everything Deeply, for the romantics, the sensitive, and the ones who feel too much. It's a celebration of sensitivity, how to overcome limerence, like how to deal, right? How do you thrive in this world where it feels so nonchalant, but how do the chalant people do it? You know, how can we like thrive in this world, right? That seems like it's very fast paced. It's not, doesn't celebrate sensitivity, doesn't celebrate feelings or intuition, right? Feminine traits, I guess you could say. That's all in my ebook. It also has like 2 playlists that I made. One is a yearning playlist. One is a main character playlist for you, for your day. And then it also has like advice. It has an introduction and a conclusion chapter. It has poetry. So check it out. Again, thank you. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye. Oh, and another thing is that the pictures behind me are all Polaroids from my short film shoots of my cast and my crew. I love them. I'm going to be sharing these Polaroids on Instagram very soon. I have a bunch of like fun behind the scenes pictures that I'd love to share with you on Instagram very soon. So look out for that. And yeah, just wanted to give context to like what these Polaroids are behind me. If she didn't get turned into a vampire. Yep.